Guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk about this, the Inkey list. This is new, I believe, 15% vitamin C and epidermal growth factor, or EGF. I've not filmed me putting this on because I didn't think there was much to be gained by doing that actually. It's just, I'll show you it on my hand, and I think that tells you what you need to know. It's just a watery serum. It's very watery feeling, you know, it just sinks in immediately and feels very matte after putting it on. So it feels, to me, it feels like a kind of basic hyaluronic acid type feel. This is £14.99 and the claims from Inkey are that it will make your skin more plumper and more youthful, and that it will brighten your skin and protect it from environmental damage. The ingredients in here, the vitamin C is a ascorbyl glucoside, so it's not a pure vitamin C, it's a vitamin C derivative, ascorbyl glucoside. Actually, thinking about it, this does feel a lot like the ascorbyl glucoside from The Ordinary. And it then has oligopeptide 1, which is a synthetic growth factor. This one doesn't ball up on the skin at all. I would particularly notice that with these kind of serums. Sometimes they do that on me, but this one hasn't done that even a little bit, so that's great. I've said that it feels just like a normal watery serum. There's nothing, it's not one that I'm like, oh, that feels lovely. It doesn't feel at all silky or anything like that. It just feels like a thick water I'm putting on my face. But my skin does feel very tight afterwards. But I mean, it doesn't claim to be moisturising. It is just a serum to use underneath the moisturiser. I found one review of this, which is really good. And the review, funny enough, was saying that she wasn't talking about aging, but she was saying she'd used it for about 4 days and her spots were starting to go away. So that's a good thing, but it's not something that there's any claims that this would do. The brightening that they're saying and protecting from the environment is generally what the claims are for vitamin C. But remember, this is a derivative, so not quite as powerful. And then the plumper and more youthful skin, they're saying, would come from the growth factor. Something to notice about the growth factor, the synthetic one, is that it's the oligopeptide 1 is the very, very last ingredient. So there's not very much growth factor in here. Although, to be fair, I don't know the exact percentages they would use anyway. I've done a whole video on growth factor as an ingredient spotlight video, so I'll link that for you. They're a very controversial subject because the action that they have is something that can be great for some skin and not for others, and it's very similar to how cancer works on your cells by multiplying them. So yeah, very controversial and very, very complex. But like I said, it's very low on the list in this product. But if you have something like, if you have any moles on your face and neck, I would not use this personally. And if you have something like psoriasis, then this is not going to be helpful. Just the way that the growth factor works, if it is at all, if it is at all active, even though it's so low, then it's not something you want to use, because growth factors won't give you cancer, but if you had any cancerous moles, it could, in theory, make them spread. So it's something I'd avoid if you've got any kind of, like I said, psoriasis or any moles on your face and neck, even though it is very low. So that's all to tell you about it. What do I think about it? Well, I think that the 15% vitamin C derivative is okay if you are wanting to use vitamin C and you've found that you have... Sorry about that. I always rush to answer the home phone because it could be my dad. So I always think it could be my dad who might need my help. But actually it was my mother-in-law checking how I was feeling, because it doesn't sound like I've got a cold. This morning I sounded like I've got a cold. Tonight I'll probably sound like I've got a cold, but at the minute it sounds all right. I think because I've got my cold and flu drugs in my system. I can't remember where I was at all, but I think I was telling you my feelings on this and saying if you wanted to use a vitamin C, but you didn't want to use an ascorbic acid, you know, a true vitamin C, then this is good because it is 15% ascorbyl glucoside and it's a derivative, but it will convert in your skin. It just won't be as effective as using a true vitamin C. And that with the growth factor, I'm just not sure. I used a growth factor serum in the ingredient spotlight video I did. I actually tried out an expensive growth factor serum, so I think it was a good one. I think growth factor, to be potent, tend to be quite expensive, and I didn't find any difference from it at all. I don't think this will do much at the low level that it's at. So overall, this is not one I would recommend you rush out and buy, to be honest with you. I think that you can buy a vitamin C like the Timeless vitamin C, for example, that is non-irritating, but that is ascorbic acid. If you are looking for the brightening effects, the pigmentation effects, or anti-pigmentation effects of vitamin C, you'd be better going for an ascorbic acid. But if you are definitely looking for a derivative, specifically ascorbyl glucoside, then this one would be great. And I don't think the growth factor in it would do any harm. So not one I'd recommend, not one I probably won't use this up. I hate to say that because, you know, it cost me £14.99 and I hate wasting money like that. And it's not a reusable bottle. It's not something I can use. I don't know if this is reusable, recyclable plastic. No, I can't see, but I just don't see me using it up because it just feels so blah on my skin. You know, it just feels like water, and I've got a lot of lovely skincare items that I'm really enjoying using that make my skin feel lovely, and this isn't one of them. It just feels like it's doing nothing. Let me know what you think of this. Is this one that you were excited about? Is it one you're going to buy? Is it one you've already used? Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I will list all of my makeup in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.